moving on to story number 9 in our countdown right now. Bragg's big reach as the Soros-backed Manhattan prosecutor attempts to lock up the 45th president of the United States for what would be more than a century, believe it or not. You might expect Democrats and their mouthpieces in the mainstream media to rejoice. But Alvin Bragg's case against the former president seems to be getting weaker by the day. Even Trump's biggest critics find it disappointing. Take a listen.
Well, speaking as someone who very strongly does not want Donald Trump to get the Republican presidential nomination, I'm extraordinarily distressed by this document. I think it's easily subject to being dismissed or a quick acquittal for Trump.
Very interesting, because Alvin Bragg used a misdemeanor, added a misdemeanor to it, and got a felony.
If this is the only pebble that gets thrown at Donald Trump, it's a very small pebble.
The Trump team is going to be able to make a number of legal arguments before we even get to the facts.
And joining us now to discuss is Donald Trump's spokeswoman, Liz Harrington, and PJ Media columnist Matt Margolis. Thank you both for joining us. Liz, I'd like to start with you. Last year, Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign and the Democratic National Committee agreed to pay $113,000 to settle an FEC investigation into whether they violated campaign finance law by misreporting spending on that research that eventually became the infamous Steele dossier. Why a fine in that case, but 34 felony charges and potentially a 136-year potential prison sentence for Donald Trump in this case?
Well, exactly, Mike, because they want to throw out equal justice under the law. And if you look at that case with Hillary Clinton, think of the damage that Steele dossier full of garbage and lies did to the country, put the country through for years. It cost taxpayers, multi-millions of dollars worth of this sham investigation that ultimately found no collusion, when in fact, Hillary Clinton, it was her campaign that was colluding with Russians. But the key point is they won't go after people like the Clintons or the Bidens or the Pelosi's or any of the powerful in Washington, because that's what this system is designed to do. It's to prop up the corrupt, and it's using law enforcement to go after their political opponents. And if they get their way, it won't just be President Trump that they're persecuting. It'll be all Americans, and we will lose our foundation of the rule of law in our great country, and we can't let that happen.
Matt, we have really entered a new epoch now in American history with this Trump indictment. Is one of the reasons this White House has been so mum on this case in the last week or so because Joe Biden knows that now prosecuting former presidents is now very much on the table, and, well, maybe he's next?
Well, it's funny because he was laughing about it earlier this week, but yeah, he should be worried. I mean, he's got a lot of things that the Republicans in Congress are looking at right now that he needs to be concerned about. And if this is the kind of situation that Democrats want, well, they got to realize that they're not always going to be the ones in power. That every time that they do something, it's going to come back to bite them at some point. And they've seen it happen before. They never seem to learn their lesson at all.
Liz, since this indictment, the Trump campaign, as you know, has received more than $12 million, I believe, in donations. Just today, they released this video. Take a look.
Now these radical left lunatics want to interfere with our elections by using law enforcement. We can't let that happen. With all of this being said, and with a very dark cloud over our beloved country, I have no doubt, nevertheless, that we will make America great again.
I mean, you saw it there, Liz. I mean, this message by the Trump campaign, it's working. Republicans are rallying around the former president. Is this what Democrats expected to happen, or is this backfiring on them?
I think it is backfiring. I don't think they care, quite frankly, because they're so shameless. They'll do anything to hold on to corrupt power. And the amazing fact about those donations is more than a quarter of them are first-time donors. President Trump has now been on the political scene for over 7 years, and yet more and more Americans are waking up. They're saying, wow, this is the one guy who's taking on corrupt power, who wants to make America great again. And why are they're asking themselves, why are they going against him so much with these sham charges, these phony investigations for 7 years now? And they're seeing the corrupt people are destroying our country, and they're having to live through it. They're having to live through gas prices going up yet again to record highs, the prices at the grocery, our open, broken border, marching us into World War III, all of these issues, that is why they're going after President Trump, because he would put a stop to them in a heartbeat, and he will when he gets back in the White House in 2024.
Matt, I brought this up with Matthew Whitaker a few minutes ago, but the next court date in this case is set for December 4th. That's getting very close. The beginning of primary season. You got the Iowa caucus, the New Hampshire primary. If this trial starts interfering with Donald Trump's ability to run for president, how is that not blatant election interference?
Well, the reason is because it is election interference. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to distract Trump, keep him busy with all these legal things, and set up this contrast between other candidates like Joe Biden or whoever the Democrats end up putting up there, who they can say this isn't happening to him. Although Republicans can counter that by pointing out that there is this two-tiered system where there's justice for Republicans, and then there's this other form of justice for Democrats, where they, like Hillary Clinton gets to pay a fine to settle a campaign finance charge, and Trump faces 136 years. That's a contrast that the Trump campaign can use to say this is what we have going on here. This is the corruption that we have to fight, and it makes people who are on the fence about supporting Trump again in 2024 say, you know what, I think I really need to support him again because he's the one who's been through it. He's the one that's going to be the best fighter against this corruption.
Liz, real quick, the judge in this case, Juan Merchan, as liberal as they come, really donating to causes like Stop the Republicans and Biden for President 2020. We know his daughter worked for Kamala Harris's campaign. Should he recuse himself? Can Donald Trump get a fair case under this judge?
Absolutely, he should recuse. And this is the same judge who's already presided over a Trump organization case. It was a total sham, and he was very biased in that case. And he also got the Steve Bannon case. This is not random. This is not equal justice. We have to have a change of venue. But more importantly, this thing should have never been brought. It should get dismissed. Alvin Bragg has no right to try to bring federal charges as a state prosecutor. The whole thing is total lawlessness. And we're going to fight it every step of the way. Matt,
I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a very sad time for our country, and I really hope that this case gets dismissed because we don't need this distraction. We don't want to see this happening in our country. We're supposed to be better than that. This is America, and we need to make it great again, not make it worse.
Liz Harrington, Matt Margolis, appreciate your time tonight. Happy Easter. Thank you.
Happy Easter. Thank you so much.